Blog Talk Radio.
Don't touch me. I'll beat your brains out.
You believe in miracles? I mean, you can take a knee and try a 56-yard field goal. This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Gibson. There's no one like I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious. I want your heart. I want to eat his children.
Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. California! The big game over Stackers!
I think that the NFL knows what Randy Moss has done with marijuana, and I think the NFL knows what Randy Moss does with marijuana.
Playoffs?
I'm going to. What's up, Jason?
You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game. Good morning, and thank you for joining me.
Top of the morning. Those of you already on Facebook Live, Jason, the rest of you, good morning. The millions listening around the world on blogtalkradio.com. This is Tough Love. I'm Alistair Conrad, coming to you live from a goddamn hot Los Angeles. Woo! It got to 113 on Friday. It was, I think, 104 yesterday. I think it's going to be cold today. I think it's only going to be 97. But either way, my ass is going to the beach immediately after this show. I will dump Woo in some water because I'm leaving him here. And then I am hopping on the motorcycle and getting my punk ass over to the ocean. So hopefully everybody in LA is staying cool. The rest of you around the country, hopefully you're having a great day. With that said, as usual, stuff to get to. NBA free agency. This time last week, if you remember, was talking about if it's worth it to LeBron to go to Los Angeles and the other moves. Where does everybody fall? Kawhi, so on. We have some answers to that. I'll get to that. Tiger versus Phil for $10 million winner-take-all prize. $10 million. I'll get to that in a sec. Obviously, the World Cup is going on down to the Final Four. You guys know I don't care. I'm trying to think what else. UFC last night. Jason's on Facebook Live. He wants me to chat about that real quick. Here's the thing about last night in the UFC. And, a massive, massive win, right, for Daniel Cormier. I don't know what it is about him, but is it just me, or is he just very hard to like? I don't know why I just don't like Daniel Cormier so much. He's smug. You know, going into a fight, you expect to win, right? I know everybody thought, including myself, thought Miocic would win the fight. I really did. Gut feeling, though, told me Cormier was going to win, and he ended up doing so with a first-round KO. He caught him really good, got on him. They stopped the fight, and, Miocic, obviously, like most people who get knocked out, feel like, they called the fight too early. They called the fight exactly where they should have. He lost. DC won. Jason, I don't like him either. And I don't know. Well, I do know. I do know exactly why. After the fight, Cormier acted as though he was in on Broadway. Just so obnoxiously taking it all in. I don't know how I should word this or what his actions, they bothered me so much, how smug. And it was like a woman who was just like, just taking in all the accolades, all the, the talk. I don't know what it is, but he just doesn't he wasn't humble about it whatsoever. That's, I think, what bothered me so much. Is he talented? Yes. As Jason mentioned, he was the Strikeforce heavyweight champ. He's the light heavyweight UFC champ. He is now the heavyweight UFC champ. From my understanding, he's a good dude. One of his best friends is Cain Velasquez. They were both fighting heavyweight. Daniel Cormier didn't want to face Cain Velasquez in the championship match, so he moves after going undefeated after 13 matches in the heavyweight, knows that he and Velasquez are going to be on a crash course, doesn't want to fight his buddy, so he moves down after being undefeated in the heavyweight, goes to the light heavyweight, and ends up doing really well, so that his buddy Cain Velasquez could be the heavyweight champ, which he did become. Daniel Cormier has a spectacular record. He has lost 1 fight and 2 more to John Jones that, I'm sorry, I can't get over. In sports, in basketball, football, whatever it is, especially in college, you have teams that, like UNLV basketball back in the early 90s. The Gopher basketball team, Minnesota Gopher basketball team of 96, Louisville national champs of, I think, 13, whatever it is. You have teams that win championships, go deep, and then because of infractions, the NCAA takes away their championships. But we still watched it happen. We still saw it. Like the Gophers' Big Ten title banner from 96 got taken down, but I still remember watching it. I saw it with my own eyes. It happened. Louisville's national championship a few years back happened. One of the greatest basketball teams to ever play, the UNLV Runnin' Rebels from the early 90s. I saw it happened. They won the national championship, then got to the semifinals the next year. It happened. So for me, yes, Daniel Cormier is one of the best fighters ever. One of only 2 people to ever hold simultaneous belts at the same time. He and Conor McGregor. But he lost twice to John Jones. And yes, John Jones got busted for, performance-enhancing drugs. And yes, it can give you an advantage. But he would have never beat John Jones anyway. That's the way I feel. I truly believe John Jones is just too talented for him. It's the one person Daniel Cormier couldn't beat. Everybody kind of has that person that you can't get past. And that is it for Daniel Cormier. And so, yes, he is really good. But those 2 losses, I can't get over. And Jason, you're right. Brock Lesnar, same thing. He's actually in suspension right now. But, again, I don't want to take anything away from Cormier. He knocked out Stipe Miocic last night. It's not as though he won it by a decision. He knocked him out in the first round last night. There was no question about that. His antics and his self-fulfillment afterwards was obnoxious. And it made me, it made me look at him exactly how I always have looked at him. I'm not a huge fan. I wanted John Jones to whoop his ass when they fought. He did both times. and that's that. I mean, again, I don't have anything against Cormier. I just don't like how it went down. Here's the thing that killed me from last night. It's hard for entertainment value to not sell tickets, to not get everybody pumped up. But after the fight, Brock Lesnar just so happened to be at the fight. Apparently goes up to Dana White previous to the fight between Cormier and Miocic and tells Dana White, I want to fight whoever the winner is. And then after the fight, after the Joe Rogan interview, Daniel Cormier takes a mic and in true WWE fashion calls out Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, in all of his WWE bluster, comes into the ring and says, you want me, or whatever the hell he mouthed, and goes up and pushes Cormier, and melee ensues. People are holding them back. It was so insulting in the sense that it came off so rigged. And I get it. That's how the WWE has been so effective and so successful in its past, is by using these type of tactics to build excitement, to build the drama. But for me, it's the UFC and boxing. I mean, these are, to me, WWE antics should be left out. That's just one man's opinion. That's just me. But it seemed so set up last night that, it almost makes me question Cormier's win over Miocic. That's how set up it was. He KO'd Miocic, caught him really good. He went down. I truly believe it was a knockout. But it built up the after so easily with those two. Jason, yeah, it sickened me. It really did. It made me embarrassed for UFC, if that makes any sense. I truly felt embarrassed. It's the same type of feel that I had when the the Triple G and Canelo Alvarez fight last September happened. And when the scorecards were read and the 118-110 for Canelo, as a boxing fan, I knew it was rigged. And then after, when the post game on ESPN, when they had the Westgate Sportsbook dude saying, we'll see you on Cinco de Mayo, well, then you knew it was rigged for more money so they could have a rematch, so forth. This last night made me feel the exact same way. It just made me feel dirty. You're insulting my intelligence as a fan. And I'm just one loser in a American flag tank top doing a podcast from my studio apartment in Hollywood. But I'm a huge fan, and I hate when I'm insulted like that. That's what it was. I know it's set up. Great win for Cormier. I will watch Lesnar and Cormier. I will. I'll watch it. But, at the same time, so just go about it the way you do a regular promotion. I just feel like the whole Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather show that was so set up, and every, promotion that they had and WWE-like influence that they had, that's what happened last night. It doesn't need to happen. True fans know that a good fight is a good fight. We don't need the drama of the Kardashians and WWE to sit there and make it any better. True, you're not trying to get women to watch this. You're not. Even though there's women, that's the drama aspect to it. You don't need it. You just don't need it. I love you back, Jason. It's just frustrating. Larry, top of the morning, beautiful. So anyway, it happened. It was a good fight. It is what it is. But yeah, why can't it just be pure? Why do you have to throw in just the nonsense? But you know what? It is what it is. And so we'll see, that fight down the road. Brock Lesnar still has to serve 6 months probation for failing drug tests within UFC. I'm pretty sure that's why he went back to the WWE because he got busted. Now he's back. He's got to serve the 6 months. We can look for this fight, I'm assuming, sometime in early 2019. Probably somewhere after the Super Bowl, you will see Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. Again, I'd watch it. I'm excited for it. I really do. I know Lesnar's been out for a long time, but Lesnar is a former wrestling champ, NCAA at University of Minnesota. Cormier was a runner-up, lost his championship fight to Cael Sanderson, arguably the best wrestler of all time collegiately. So you got two guys who are really, really talented. So Eric, what's up, kiddo? I'm excited for it. I'll watch it. We'll see it happen. So anyway, that was the UFC. Excuse me. Like I mentioned to start off this show, NBA free agency this time last week hadn't got in yet. Miocic should get a rematch, Jason. I feel the same way. I really do. I think Miocic should, well, maybe that's what they'll do. Maybe they'll have a rematch. I doubt it. There's too much money to be made for the Cormier-Lesnar deal. Miocic he'll get a rematch. I guarantee you. Put it this way. Cormier said he'll have 2 fights left. And I'm sorry, I saw Jason's comment and I want to respond. Cormier said he's got 2 fights left. One is Brock Lesnar, and the other is either one of 2 things. A rematch with John Jones sometime at the end of next year, or a rematch with Miocic. I guarantee you those are the 2 next fights, which, by the way, would be really, really awesome. Because I'd love to see the rematch with Miocic, and I would love to see him fight John Jones again. That would be awesome. I'd love to see John Jones beat him for a 3rd time. That'd be great. But Lesnar's first, and I think that'll be sometime after the Super Bowl. So, anyway, like I say, back to NBA free agency. LeBron goes to LA, pretty much as expected. But you don't have to be an idiot. Or I guess, maybe I said that wrong. You don't have to be the brightest guy in the world to see that all the deals that the Lakers are doing right now, all these 1-year deals. Next year is arguably the biggest year of free agency ever. Kevin Durant, Boogie Cousins, Klay Thompson, Jimmy Butler, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love. The list is so much longer than that. It's all-stars, massive, like Hall of Famers that are going to be free agents next year. So LeBron signs with LA. They know that this year is not going to be a championship. And so it's kind of just a wash. They're going to throw this year. Obviously, they're going to try, but they're not winning this year. They're not. But all these 1-year deals that will expire next year, coincidentally, the same year as the biggest free agent pool the NBA has ever seen, I'm guaranteeing next year LeBron will get 2 other massive players. I don't know who they are. I have no idea. Something tells me maybe Kevin Durant, being that Durant took a discount this year. Again, instead of signing what could have been a max deal in Golden State, signs a 1-and-1. So he's here, or he'll be there next year, but then he can opt out and go with LeBron. I mean, think about that. Him and LeBron, number 1, and then you add a Boogie Cousins possibly. You add a Klay Thompson possibly. I mean, this year is going to be out. Jason, thank you, man. Love you back. You have a great day too. 2 people are going to join LeBron. I have a real big feeling it's going to be Boogie Cousins and Kevin Durant. 2 pieces of the Golden State Warriors right now. I have a feeling those 2 are going to be on the Lakers next year. That's just how I feel. I know LeBron and company aren't going to win it this year. Will they make the playoffs? Maybe. I'm not guaranteeing that unless they do something crazy. But they're not getting Kawhi Leonard. I said that for a long time, but now it's not for the reasons I thought it was. I just thought Popovich wouldn't trade him to the Lakers because it wouldn't make sense. Why would you weaken the Spurs and strengthen the Lakers? It just, to me, it doesn't make sense. And so I didn't think Pop would do it. Now come to find out, Kawhi is the biggest prima donna ever, and you question, is he hated more than Kevin Durant right now? Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to go to the Lakers now because LeBron is there. So what are you about? What are you about? Are you about winning? Because LeBron gets there. He might not win it every year, but you and LeBron would at least give Golden State and whoever else that you put around you a challenge. Kawhi now, I hear, wants to go to the Clippers, which I guess doesn't surprise me too much because Jerry West, former Laker great, and now, GM basically of the Clippers, has a lot of pull. And, he has an opportunity to get Kawhi, but Kawhi wants to go to the Lakers to the Clippers so he doesn't have to play with LeBron. Kawhi Leonard bitched the Spurs and now is just playing this. It's amazing to look at him because you never thought of him like that. He was quiet. It just seemed like he went about his deal, and now all of a sudden he screws the Spurs, and now he's just saying, I don't want to play with LeBron. Why would you not want to play with LeBron? Kawhi, I know, bud, you're good, but man, it's strange. And now, everybody hated KD for going to Golden State, joined the 73-win team, blah, blah, blah. They've won championships since he's done that. But now, to me, Kawhi is hated even more. Like, Kawhi looks like a bitch. Just a bitch. So we'll see what happens with him. I just say, I don't know. I'd like it if he sat out. That'd be great. Just sit out. Wait till next year and see what happens, bud. I don't know. It sucks just because this doesn't happen 30 years ago in basketball. Athletes have become such prima donnas. Not all of them. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of them have. And, because of the money that, Kawhi doesn't have to work a day, the rest of his life if he didn't want to. So the money, unfortunately, is making people somewhat passive. Not everybody is Jimmy Butler, who has this internal fire to just, keep grinding and working and just be a soldier. You got a lot of guys who are just bitches. And, like Kawhi, wow, what a bitch. Anyway, I mentioned Boogie earlier, Boogie Cousins. How crazy is it? LeBron James signs to go to the Lakers. It is euphoria in Los Angeles for Laker fans. But then the next day, Boogie Cousins signs with Golden State. And I could argue that's a bigger signing than LeBron to the Lakers. LeBron to the Lakers isn't going to beat Golden State. But Golden State just won the championship and then added arguably the best big man in the league, a 26-10 guy. Think about this. Golden State won the championship without KD. And then they add KD and win 2 in a row. And as if that's not good enough, they signed Boogie Cousins. Christian, I do think Anthony Joshua should fight Wilder. Yes, I do. Hold on a sec. The cleaner's going by. So, what's his name? I'm trying to think. Michael Wilbon said something the other day that was smart. Because obviously everybody's like, holy cow, Boogie Cousins going to Golden State. It is true that Golden State cannot just rest on their laurels. And if they have an opportunity to get a guy who nobody else wanted, apparently, except for a couple teams possibly that suck, and Boogie has been through that before. And so it's okay for the Warriors to want to get better. Companies out there get better. And so, for everybody to expect Golden State to just sit around and let everybody else get better and rest on their laurels, saying, "Oh, we've won 2 straight. We don't need anybody." Well, that's not realistic. Everybody wants to get better. Every company wants to get better. So therefore, what happens? Nobody worth anything wants to get Boogie Cousins. He calls up Golden State. "Hey, can I be your mid-level?" The GM at Golden State's like, "Yeah, absolutely. Sounds like a great idea. Let's do it." And so that's what happens. And then everybody gets, butthurt about him going and doing that. And that's the other side. We sit there and blast. Hold on a sec. Hold on. We sit there and we blast athletes in free agency for just going after the money, right? That's what we do. We're like, "Oh, you went to the Jets? Really? The Jets?" And, it's always about money. And then so when something like this happens, Boogie Cousins takes $5 million to go and play with the Warriors, everybody shits on him. Hey, make up your mind, people. This is actually what everybody always, this is the opposite, I guess I should say, of what everybody always talks about. This is what we all want, supposedly. We want players to go after the win and not after the money. Now, granted, KD's situation, to me, is a lot different than Boogie Cousins. KD had options. He could have stayed with OKC. They almost won they almost beat Golden State. They should have beat Golden State. And then he goes and joins, a 73-win team, 2 championships in a row, blah, blah, blah. Nobody wanted Boogie. And then Boogie says, "Screw it. I'm going to go and play with the Warriors." Yes. Are they going to win the championship this year? Absolutely. They should go 82-0. To me, if they don't go 82-0, I just think it's a disappointment. It's a failure. Obviously, they won't. It's the regular season. They might, they'll probably get home court advantage. They should. But, there's an argument to be made that the NBA season upcoming isn't even worth watching because we all know the end result, or at least we should know the end result. I will say this right now. On July 8th, 2018, do not sleep on Boston Celtics. I'm telling you, you're bringing back Kyrie Irving, borderline Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, and Gordon Hayward, who never got to play more than a minute last year with your team. 2 All-Stars. You're bringing back to a squad that made the Eastern Conference Finals and took Cleveland to the brink. It would not surprise me at all if Boston won the championship last year or next year. Warriors should.
90 seconds.
They should. But I don't sleep on Boston. Boston is set up to win. And that is why I would love it if LeBron never wins another championship, while he's in LA. For the rest of his career, I would love it, just so everybody can just shut up about, Jordan and whatnot. But that would be great. I got about 60 seconds left. Gonna mention this one last thing. Tiger versus Phil. $10 million. Winner take all. This somewhat has a feel of Pacquiao Mayweather in the sense that it was made 5 years too late, or, in this sense, it would have been cool to see this happen 10 years ago, in 08 or 05, something like that. But it is what it is. Tiger and Phil, obviously it's going to sell. I'll watch it. It's 1 round for $10 million. It's insane. I wonder if they would actually extend it to a weekend, a 4-round clip, the 2 of them. That would be interesting too. I hope it's at Augusta. I would love to see it where they play the Masters. I think that would be awesome. And so we'll see, what happens. But $10 million. I do appreciate the fact that, when asked, they're like, "How much did you play for?" And Tiger says, "Whatever makes Phil uncomfortable." Blog Talk Radio, I'm out with you guys. Tough Love is out. Have a great Sunday fun day. Drive fast, take chances. I'm still with you guys for the next 10 seconds or whatever.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
So anyway, that'll be interesting. But if you didn't get to see the match last night with UFC, check it out. Watch the post-ring antics between Cormier and Lesnar, and you tell me if that wasn't set up. Just unneeded drama, WWE stuff that I just don't think it needs. So we'll see. World Cup is set. I'm sure there's some of you who like that. And that's about it. So anyway, those of you on Facebook Live, thank you so much for joining. Have a great day, and I will see you next Sunday. Drive fast, take chances. See ya.